Keith basically just said, shout out to the churches that matter.
Let's talk about churches that don't matter.
Oh! Well, shoot. Let's get into it. Let's pray real quick and then just start talking. I'm sure it'll come together. Lord, give us the conversational topics that will allow us to ultimately, really, at the end of the day, bring somebody closer to you or bring somebody to you in general. Allow us to be a beacon of light for the musician community. Allow us to inspire some people that might be in the church but are actually low key lost. Help us to bring them closer to you and inspire us as we converse to talk about things that we might not even thought about yet. But guide this conversation with your Holy Spirit and allow your will to be done. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen and amen.
Yeah. Maybe we could start. We could start with our different experiences with burnout. What's y'all opinion on that?
Oh, as far as us starting that way or my actual experience?
Us starting that way.
That's fine.
We could just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and just see what sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay, so I'll start. I feel like I have learned over the years that like I am not a machine. So I think a lot of times like I used to think like, man, I'm gonna just go hard all the time. I'm gonna just whatever it takes, I'm gonna just stay up all night. I'm gonna stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, it don't matter. I'm just doing it. And I think that was really stupid. I used to do that like in college, like thinking I could just not take care of myself, not sleep, not go to class, or go to class and just do all this other stuff and be okay. But like, I think rest is, no pun intended, very slept on. Like we don't take enough rest for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Now I've been taking naps. Like I schedule an hour nap in the middle of my day. And like, especially when I'm working on like production. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but like, what's y'all experience with that though?
You are old.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
That's funny because I literally just had like let's say like last week, like a little burnout week because I have been traveling. I've been like writing a whole bunch and producing or whatever. And I'm just like, I ain't had no time to sleep yet, but I'll be like, I'll be all right, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to get this done. So I had a session, bro, and I'm on probably like 1 hour of sleep. But I went to Starbucks. I had, what I get, like 4 shots or whatever and some stuff. So I was sitting in the studio, and I had that, bro. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to produce this song, but I'm half asleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they looking at me, they like, what are you doing? And I didn't even realize it was happening or whatever. And so I went home, bro, and I slept for, I think I slept for like 20 hours.
Dang.
Like straight, because my body was just done because I ain't been resting. And I probably wasn't eating because, you know, like when you be moving, like when you just working, bro, sometimes it just be like, I get to that later. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have time for that right now. Mm-hmm. But what I learned is that you have to force yourself and you have to make time to take care of your body, of your mind, of your sleep, because those are the most important things that actually help you with your job. You know what I'm saying? Like we actually rely on rest to be fully functional, like in our jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. What's y'all's perspective?
I feel like my burnout, I haven't really had a true burnout. I have been worn down though. Mm-hmm. And I am kind of on the go hard or go home tip, but not in the sense of all the time. Like I feel like I know you have to adjust yourself to the situation. Everything doesn't require 100% of you because there should be someone else involved, you know? So, like, I know when I need to tear it down a little bit and like, hey, I'm here to play drums. I have nothing to offer arrangement wise. I have no production sense in this moment. I may not even, know all what's about to happen, but I am gonna be prepared. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
um, but also I know when my high points are, when I can get the most out of myself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that's been big for me. The older we've gotten, it's like, because and I know I sleep at different times than everyone else. But I'm okay with that because I'm like when I work, I know when I can get the most done. So for me, I guess it's more like it's definitely game planning.
Mm.
Game planning, like if this needs to be done by Friday and it's Monday,
Yeah, yeah,
what is going to happen between right now and
yeah,
the hours
Boy.
of me waking up Friday?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hey, wait, can I just comment on that real quick?
yeah.
Man, do you know how many times it's Wednesday? First of all, we rehearse on Wednesday at 5:30 as a band, and then the singers come at 6:30. It'd be 4 o'clock, and I'm like, oh man, let me sit down and think
Yep.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
dope. Like,
Dope.
Hey,
it's not dope because, first of all, and I set a rule for myself, but I never follow it. But this week is gonna be the week. I say that every week, but whatever. Tuesday morning is the time that I cut out to go through all the church stuff. Make sure it's all together so that I can go to sleep. Wednesday, I wake up, I might review it. And then by the time it's like you gotta go to sleep and let that stuff really get into your mind
dude.
so that when you wake up the next day and you gotta actually execute it, like you can't really cram music. I mean, you can, and it might work, but like you're not gonna really,
Yeah.
execute it the way that you're supposed to. But that's just a good point. Like, man, game plan. If you know you gotta have all the stuff ready, and it need to be ready for rehearsal, not for Sunday. But if you know you gotta have it all ready, do it the day before. Why? I don't know why I always procrastinate like
Yeah.
that.
Day before is even tough. I've realized this. If I am trying to dissect the song 24 hours before I gotta play it, it's too late.
Woo!
It's a
It's too late. Like if I'm diving into it, like what's that hit? Nah, it's over.
dog.
That's why I think it's important because what I like to do is I develop I have this like playlist that remains. I never delete it.
Mhm.
I just take out of it and add to it. So when I know I'm gonna do a song or no song, anywhere down the line is coming up, I put it in this playlist and I run this playlist every time I pretty much get in the car and I just get the music in me so that when I have to do it, it's already there and now I can just learn it. Cause I think if you kind of know the music, what you can do in 24 hours is go over every fine detail. But y'all might think differently. But
No, that's a great point.
I think if I have the music and I'm like, oh, now I just need to make sure, oh, I thought this note was this, but it's actually this. I can do that in the day before. But learning it the day before is kind of crazy.
I will
Think-
say. Oh, no, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, 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 no. Go ahead, go ahead.
He just made me think. The easiest music I've ever learned is some of the music that I've never played prior to that point. And I know that sounds crazy, but what I'm saying is if I've always heard it, like, oh, this is a popular song, or man, this is a song my mom used to play all the time,
Mhm.
but I've never touched it on an
Yep.
instrument. You're like, I know this joint
Yep.
lick for lick. Pause.
Yep. Yep.
And also,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, yo, how did I learn this song? Like, I mean, my body knows this song.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I think a good is like a good one would be like Frankie Beverly and Maze. Like, I remember, like I've been listening to that song for forever. Like when it came time to play it, I just needed to know what key it was in. Like, and I
Yeah.
just like, you know what I'm saying? I just kind of knew where to go. But I think on the flip side, like CCM music is like the only music. Like if I have to learn it the day before, I'm still not gonna know it because it's all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all the same chords, like, and most of their songs are written the same way. You know what I'm saying? And so it'd be like it's almost like a hymn. You just have to find the formula and then change the melody.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, but it's still hard, bro, because I had to play a CCM set one time and I was just like, I had to write out the chords over top of the little lyric sheet, like where the words go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that I knew what changes go where, because you don't have to do much on that. You just kind of get the pad.
But have you ever noticed though? Because I've L'd on CCM gigs, not like playing the wrong stuff, but like I don't know what they singing. I don't know the spirit of the song. Like I can't really take the song anywhere because I just know the chords.
Yep.
So like there's no life that I'm able to bring to this execution of the song because I don't really know. That's such a good point though. Like listening, that like first of all, that's like a golden nugget. Like playlist, like because I love systems. So having a playlist that you always are subtracting and adding to, that is so smart. I'm like literally about to do that today because there's so much music that
Just send me Cash App, Cash App JMUSIQ1. You know,
where
I
the
appreciate
camera
that.
at. Y'all heard his Cash App.
Bless me.
And my cousin worded it like, you got to live with the music before you learn it.
Man.
Like, you got to play it in your car.
Yep.
Before you sit down on the instrument, you got to just listen to it subconsciously.
That's good.
And it'll get stuck in your brain. And when you go to play the moves, you'll be humming where you're going because you know.
Yep.
I had a spin-off question, though,
Mhm.
because the way I answered the question about burnout, the way I did is because I think there's two phases to it. Like, I'm going to be 29 this year, so I'll be 30 next year, which is crazy. Physically, I had to, like, reassess myself probably like a year ago.
Wow.
Like, oh, can't do the, like you said, like the crazy late nights.
Yeah.
Like you'll fall asleep at the laptop, which I have many times.
Yeah.
Woken up, session is right where I left it.
Yeah.
You know, nothing is printed. Like files are not sent. I'm not even gonna. Man, whenever we post this, press the like button. If I told you I was gonna send you files tonight,
Hey, no, for real,
and I
dog.
didn't.
Hey, because I'm trying to tell you, I owe somebody files right now, and it's been 2 weeks, bro.
Man, I do not send files the day of. I'm
Dang.
so sorry. It's terrible. But I was saying physically and mentally, two different things. I will say mentally, sometimes I do feel like a machine. But I'm real hungry. Like I'm in this phase of like I feel like I'm on the cusp of whatever I'm really supposed to have to move me along. Mentally, I'm juggernaut. Physically, I cannot keep up with my mental right now.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like my brain and my passion and ambition is on 1,000,000 right now.
Yeah.
My body is like, yo, either we need a new plan or you need to slow down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that probably even gets into fitness. Like for myself being an ex-athlete, once I stopped playing football in college, I mean, I still ate like I played football in college.
Oh.
Gotcha.
You know, like I burn all these calories every day.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 a-days, and I'm going to the rec to play basketball later today.
Wow.
A whole lot of cardio. I'm still taking calories in like that. But now I'm sitting at a laptop, sitting on drums, sitting at a piano.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Crazy, man.
I think in what you're saying, I'd be trying to figure out how to balance, I guess. I hate that word. I'd be trying to figure out how to balance between, I don't know if you guys probably don't work 9 to 5s, but on the other end, I do work a 9 to 5, right? And with that comes all the other stuff I do that is not exactly what I want to do. And I feel like my burnout comes when I start to prioritize the things. And I guess I shouldn't even say it's not things that I don't want to do, but it's things that are not my main focus, right? So when they become the priority or when they start to take over and I look up, I'm like, man, I ain't did no music in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like that causes me to burn out. But I don't know, much like I think you were saying, I don't know if I've ever been burnt out on the music end. Personally speaking, I don't think so.
I've definitely been burnt out. I've definitely been burnt out on the music end.
What's that like?
Man, I think it was around the time. Let me see. maybe around my second son, like when I had him, um, man, like I was still producing a lot. I wasn't writing. I couldn't write. Like I had nothing to write about. Like I had no inspiration from anything.
Mm.
I was just like, I'm a dad right now, so I don't have time for music.
Mm.
Like, cause this isn't even paying my bills right now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So how can I focus on this when I got two shorties that need to eat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then on the other hand, I need to focus on this because I got two shorties that need to eat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just living in that reality was just like, dog, like how do I make this work?
That's a crazy reality to live in.
You know what I'm
It is.
saying? Like, and it's just like, it's like, dog, like I know this what I'm supposed to be doing, but I have this responsibility that needs me now.
Mm.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
that's a good question to me. Like, what is the balance of the space of the reality of where we are and where we're trying to get to? Like, how do you balance that?
And see, that's the thing. Like there's no such thing as equal balance when you're trying to
Yes.
when you, like you know what I'm saying? Like if you're so for me, right, if I'm chasing a career and trying to raise kids, one of those things are going to have less focus than the other. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's like if I have newborns, like they don't need like too much. You know what I'm saying? It's like sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat. You know what I'm saying? So I can still move around and shake and do a bunch of stuff. But if I got a 6-year-old and he's in baseball and he's in a traveling team
Mhm.
and I gotta take him, you know what I'm saying? That then now I'm like, okay, now I have to make a plan. I have to plan everything now. And everything has to be more about urgency than rushing it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Cause it's like, dude, you will drive yourself crazy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out how to equally balance everything, and you cannot. It's
Man,
impossible. You know what I'm
that's a
saying? And then
good
the older
point.
you get, you're gonna have kids, a career, a wife, other things you got to do. There's no way you're gonna equally split all that
Facts.
in a week, in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about. I think at that point, it just becomes about okay, you have to figure out what needs the most attention now. Like in this season, it's like, okay, wifey good, kids good. This needs focus now. So this is what we own, but everybody else got to be on board. Because if everybody else not on board, now you got anxiety trying to, you know what I'm saying, reassure everybody else why you still need to focus on this. And then you catch burnout from that because you trying to hold it all together, bro, and you just can't.
And getting everybody on board requires top-notch communication
Mhm.
skills.
Yeah.
Cause man,
Willing vessels.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Or like, cause I mean, I was just dealing with this with my wife last week. I've been gone a lot, just like being here, working on stuff. And she was like, hey man, I ain't seen you. And I'm like, well, we had date day. We did X, Y, and Z. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
She like, hey,
Yes,
we
sir.
ain't-" But what I realized where I messed up was things just got busy and I ain't say nothing about the fact that things was about to get crazy. I just
Mm-hmm.
was gone. So she was just like, hey, I didn't even know. Like, she probably would have been cool with it if I would have just said, hey, babe, listen, stuff is about to pick up crazy. I'm about to be gone, X, Y, and Z. But hey, I want you to look forward to this because we're going to go here this day and we're going to do this. At least I'm communicating. I wasn't communicating at all. And that's where I L'd at. And we had to really hash that out. Now we good. But man, that's a good point. Everybody got to be on board. Man, I wanted to say something else too. I was talking to my business coach. He was talking about, and I hope I don't butcher what he said, but he was talking about like everything is seasonal. You have seasons where you are very, very focused on certain things, and then seasons change. Just like the weather always changes. You don't never see it's just one way all the time. Your seasons change the same way. But something that really stuck with me was he talked about juggling. Now there are some things that you're juggling that you just need to put down. You don't need to have
Woo, what's your cash app? What's your cash app? That's it, son. Hayatamashi.
$sign Josh Music 95. But no, for real though, he said like There's some things that you're juggling that you have to put down. You don't have time for that. Put it down. Stop doing that. But there's other things that you cannot afford to put down. You have to still juggle them. You might not be focusing on them though, but you can't let them drop. So those things are like your children. Those things are like your marriage. Those things are like, you know what I'm saying, or your 9 to 5. Like you can't abandon those things because if you do, you're gonna live a miserable life. And we've seen people that have just decided, I'm gonna just put these kids on the ground. I'm not even gonna juggle this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You see how that life turns out. You see how people that I'm just not gonna pay attention to my wife no more. You see how that turns out.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to still juggle it. So we're not saying just like, oh, this is my season for working with music right now. So I'm just not even gonna pay attention to anybody in my family. No. You just need to juggle it and you need to have a conversation so that they understand, hey, I'm juggling this right now. This is the main focus, but you are still a priority and I'm still going to maintain and I still want to make sure that you're in the fold and the rhythm of things. But this is just where seasonally I'm focused at right now. I thought that helped me out a lot.
Yeah, that's gold. That's gold too because I think this is a nice part to blend the relationship to. You cannot go into what we do without a community that is a part of what we do.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying
Good point.
now I'm blessed getting married in the month.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
now let's clap it.
And
All right.
shout out to Diamond Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Soon to be. And she's a singer.
Mhm.
That doesn't happen every day. I'm a musician. I'm a full-time musician. I'm trying to really make a force into trying to push into being into production. So it's crazy because now everything that I'm doing, she speaks that language. She understands, and she has a roundabout idea of what kind of time it requires to be successful, not to be in it,
Mm-hmm.
to be successful in it.
There's a difference.
There is a difference. We know cats that doing this stuff every day. So, like, I think walking, like, she had to know coming in, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You obviously will not be put on a back burner because you can be. Like you just talked about the juggling.
Mm-hmm.
All these things require their own attention, their own time. But she's also aware that, like, oh, yeah, you don't work at Wendy's. Not knocking the person who does work at Wendy's, but
Shade.
I'm just saying, like,
making a living, man.
and I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying the hours that Wendy's requires,
Mm-hmm.
the attention, you know what I mean? Customer service. Like, I don't have that time. In fact, I would argue that I'm probably working more, you know? So it's different. It's different. Different benefits and different downfalls with the lifestyles. But I do think your community has to be like getting them on board is one thing. But I think them even knowing the boat that they getting on board to, like, like we gonna live here.
Woo, know the boat.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that's important with any relationship you develop, even going into, say you're about to. I just recently started, with a new church, and when I sat down with the pastor, I had to tell him, be honest with him. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I want from my life. I am trying to pursue artistry. I am trying to pursue this. And I think when you start off a relationship in honesty, it takes care of the rest of the latter possible downfall, or what could be if we're both honest on what we expect from each other and where we want to go and what we want to do, even individually as well as collectively. If expectations are set with any relationship, I think it can only lead to success in the future.
I definitely agree with that. But the only issue with that is that niggas be lying, bro. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
facts.
Number one, bro, like
Facts.
they don't even be honest with themselves, so they can't, you know, they can't be honest with you. And most people don't even like to deal with confrontation because being honest and is also somebody being in your business.
And I think you got to call people out on them lies.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
you have to.
if you say this and then you go back and it's something different, then I have to now ask you
Mhm.
why you said that in the first place.
What you had said something really good.
Hold up, you said subject change. Whoa! All right, go ahead. Subject
Yes. You had said you was in a place where you couldn't create for a second.
change. My
Mhm.
God.
How did you get out of that? Because that's the cheat code.
I started going through depression. And then I started writing about my depression.
Wow. That was not what I expected. but
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then in that depression, man, woo, yeah. In that's funny. In that depression, I started dealing with like trying to change. Like I felt myself trying to change and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I don't want to do none of the old stuff I was doing, or I really just need to focus and
Yeah.
whatever. So like that's where I was at. So I was going through this little depression, and as I'm writing, like through the depression, I'm probably writing some of the best stuff of my life,
Mm.
right? And so in that, I started to find myself, and I actually started going to therapy during this time,
Okay.
and then that's when I found out I had a whole bunch of childhood trauma that I didn't know about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That helped me get through, I guess, the spell of not being able to create.
Oh wow. So like going through that, writing about the depression,
hmm
therapy,
hmm
you ended up getting out of the writer's block that you were in for so long, and then you ended up creating some of the best stuff that you've ever created.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And it's I think it's also because it was I wasn't writing or producing from a place of like, yo, I need to sell this to, you know what I'm saying, to get some bread or get this place with the next artist. I was just writing as an artist, as a genuine person. You know what I'm saying? Just putting my feelings on paper, onto the mic, in a computer, listening back, crying half the time, listening back. Like, I can't believe I'm going through this right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then it used to happen to where I would write something and then months later it would happen. Like that started happening. And I'm like, all right, I don't like this. So I
Mhm.
started going to therapy to like help deal, you know what I'm saying, with that depression and that anxiety of like, now I'm afraid to write because this stuff is coming true.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's really an amazing, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity, and I know it's kind of like it's a tough place to be in life,
Mm-hmm.
but I see it as an opportunity. People don't get the opportunity to hit a low sometimes, because sometimes like that teaches you the lesson that you need to learn in order to really put out what you like pour out your heart and soul and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's such a beautiful story, bro. I didn't expect you to say
Yeah,
that. That's
no,
like super
but I
dope.
mean, but for real, and you got to think like even during all this time, like I'm still married with 3 kids, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
bottom of the barrel, bro. Still,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
so, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to therapy.
Dang. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, like who knows?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to wonder what would have happened had I not just made the decision as, all right, I need to talk to somebody because Doc, you looking crazy right now. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
So that might actually low key be like that's the biggest burnout in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you get into a place where it's like there's no other choice. I have to get help. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I think that's an important thing that we should say too. Like, we talking about burnout. It's okay to decide, like, hey man, okay, so for example, like even with relationships, because I know we're going into relationships too. Like, there's been times when me and Kim had to buckle down and just be like, let's talk to somebody. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like, we ain't want to either, because then you got to put your business out there. You got to be super vulnerable and all that
Yes.
stuff. But like, for anybody that's listening, any musicians or anybody, like, man, sometimes in order to combat that burnout and get out of the place that you in, sometimes it might just take some rest. Sometimes you just need to take a step back. Sometimes you just need to go, take a walk. But sometimes you need real professional help, or you need a
Mhm.
community around you, or you need a friend, or you need somebody that you can call on that can actually professionally
Mhm.
lift you out of that, out of that place that you in, man.
Because it's like I feel like if you're not afraid to be vulnerable, bro, like if you're not afraid to let people into your business, like what you got going on, first of all, that's gonna take away the anxiety of you letting people find out what's going on with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you worried about, dang, if I tell somebody this, they gonna think this about me, or now they gonna know this. Now you have that anxiety. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, if you got the right crew of people around you and you like, yo, I'm effed up, this is what I'm going through. All I just need y'all to sit with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like had I known that too, like in my depression, like I probably would have leaned on my friends way harder, because
Mm-hmm.
I just did it all on my own. Like I didn't think nobody like knew what I was going through or could even relate, because none of my friends was married.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I just do it all on my own.
Got you.
But that was a bad decision.
Mm.
Yeah.
Man, but that takes us to where we trying to go though with the relationships, man. Like,
Mhm.
because now this becomes twofold, because we got relationships in the sense of just mental health in general, but then we also got relationships professionally.
Mhm.
Like, most of the opportunities that I've ever gotten was not because I was good on keys. It's because we was homies, and then that just ended. I wonder what y'all had to like, any on the mental health side or on the professional side. What do y'all think about like relationships and how to curate those? You know what I'm saying?
Um, I think on the professional side, it's 80% of what we do.
Man,
I think
that's
it's
a
80.
high percentage.
I had a OG tell me that, who is doing the stuff that we want to do right now. Like, hey man, he lives in LA. He's gone right now doing his thing, and he's like 80%. He's like, easy. There's guys that we know, a whole bunch of people with a much larger capacity for what it is they're doing. Probably more talented and even more prepared at times, but they know the guy. You know what I mean? And because I think coming up, I always thought the best of the best get chosen. You know, best of the best gets sought after. Best of the best gets the opportunities. It's like, nah, the person closest to the fire. Like, if you know somebody who can get you
Mhm.
to A, B, and C, if you've been in the room because you were just a friend of, or you were assisting, or, it's almost like I watch a show, it's full of lawyers, and a lot of the lawyers that are working the cases started in the mailroom. Not even didn't even have their
Mhm.
degrees. They were just around though.
Wow.
I think relationships are everything. Um, I heard a pastor say relationships are the currency of heaven, and I had to break that down in my brain. Like, the currency, like the form of payment. And I'm like, so we use currency to get goods and products.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like what I need. Currency is just the vehicle, you know. And I'm like, wow, okay. When I pray for something, like God does, I'm like, God, I want I want to get a new drum set, or I want to get a job, or I want to get better involved with certain people. He doesn't like poof and make it appear in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
There's a road, there's a path created to that thing,
Mm.
and it involves a relationship. Even if it's a small relationship, even if it's your cousin telling you there's an opening down at, hey, go apply there. You know, Something as simple. You get there, you see somebody Hey, I know this is a good dude. Now you have a recommendation, and things start changing. Relationships are very important. On the personal side for me, um, once again, I'm getting married, and I realize that I have a lot more. I have a lot more. I don't want to call them irrelevant relationships.
Let's
You
talk
talking
about it.
good
Yeah,
because
I'm with you.
Woo! I have a
I'm
lot
with you.
of, you know, I have a
No.
lot of smaller relationships. I'll say that.
Okay.
They're not as important to my life as even the other party may think they are.
Mm.
And when you start narrowing it down to like, okay, these people, those people, and then the people that are really close around me, you realize like I know a lot of people, but how many relationships do I have? Those are two totally different things. I want to have a ton of business relationships, but I don't think I could fulfill the need for all the personal relationships that people want to have.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We can be associates, we can know each other, we can be cool. When I see you, it's love. But maintaining this relationship on a week to week, month to month, like, that's rough. And so I think the effort you put into personal relationships, I'm gonna cap all that with this. The effort you put into personal relationships, you don't have everything you need to have to take care of everybody. So choose wisely. Business wise, get it in. You do have that. You meet somebody, you shake your hand. That's really all you need in business. They need to know you solid. You cross paths every once in a while, but you don't got to call them every day.
Mhm.
They just need, can you take care of what I need you to take care of, and vice versa.
That's very true.
So that's my take on business and personal relationships.
That's good, man. Jeremy looked like you was about to say something.
I was, but Tank was talking so long that I forgot what I was gonna say. Nah. I echo everything you guys were saying. Relationships are everything. And I try to build as many positive relationships as I can. Um I think it can get tough balancing that personal because you meet somebody, you build a relationship with them. And sometimes people want something from you that you necessarily don't want from them or can't give to them. Um, and it's tough to balance that because like you end up being somebody's best friend and you like, whoa, ho, 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 ho. Like I like you, but like I can't give you that
Mm-hmm.
time. And especially when you're concerned with, getting to where let's just be real, getting to what God has for you, fulfilling the assignment or fulfilling just what you want to do in life. Sometimes everybody doesn't necessarily understand that it's bigger than what you might even see.
Yeah.
And trying to balance those relationships can be the tough part because you don't want to make anybody feel like they're insignificant, but at the same time, we don't have the bandwidth to give to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think people don't understand that the more people you meet, the more connections you get, the bigger your platform becomes, the more influence you have, the harder it now is to extend all these relationships the same thing. And even, you know, yeah, I ain't gonna even go into that, but yeah. So I think people should be way more understanding and just meet people, develop relationships, and connect to the best of our abilities. And we should just help each other get to that place. So yeah,
Man,
I echo everything you guys said.
that's great. Yo, I think I wish you just said that number, the 80%. Like I really, really, really wish that somebody would have told me that when I was 17. Man, anybody that's
Yeah.
listening, like if you a young cat and you getting into this music thing, really not just music, like this crosses over to any discipline that you are into. Man, if you listen to this, please prioritize relationships. I know personally musicians that are awful people and they're not successful and all they keep doing is practicing. They just keep practicing.
Who?
I ain't gonna do that, man.
This is
I,
funny.
I thought you was.
I
Going,
did, I did.
Okay. It's funny how people go
Yeah,
back on their word when when now it's
He
their
ain't honest,
spotlight.
Doc. He
Yeah.
ain't honest.
I would love to say it, but
Dude, we ain't messing.
the
you first.
repercussions would be terrible, so I can't
Man.
do it, man.
But you thinking it, so God knows.
Yes. Man, horrible. But and just practicing. And still no opportunities. You're not at the level and constantly wondering, well, why they getting this shot? Well, why they doing this? Well, why they got I can outplay them. I can outsing them. I can paint better than them. I
Mhm.
can
But you supposed to be good at that. If that's the platform you're on, like that's
Mhm.
you're expected to be good. So nobody cares that how good you are. Just play the part. What we care about is, can I kick it with you for 4 months straight, bro?
bingo.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't have it's a wrap, bro. Because that's what it's about. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you got to be with these people all the time, you know what I'm saying? I can't hang around you. I don't care how good you are.
Hey,
And
it's
man, that's
sorry.
weird.
It's
No, you
somebody
good.
that I phenomenal.
Who?
Not saying it. Everybody that's from Akron or Cleveland know who I'm talking about. I cannot call this particular person, and they are one of my favorite musicians, but I cannot call this person
Ah, that's a good cover up, Doc.
because
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I can't say too much, but no,
Oh, I know who it is. I know.
one of my favorite musicians.
You'll talk about Jeremy right in front of him.
That's crazy. Yeah, man, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but bro, it's you. But nah, for real though, like I can't call this person though. I won't call this person. Like,
Mm-mm.
and sometimes I might want to. I won't do that because I know that the personal, I guess I could say the personal expense, the mental strain that it's gonna cause to try to get that work done, it's not even worth it.
But that's the thing about relationships though, because you got to think like somebody's gonna call you and ask you about this person. Like, yo, like you ever heard so and so on so and so? How are they? Yeah, they cool, but you know what I'm saying. And that's
Your
where,
name is tied to theirs.
bro.
Woo.
That's where the relationship part comes from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you not finna mess up my name, Jack.
Mm-mm.
It's a wrap, bro. Like, sorry, Curdy Giannis, bro. It's over.
Yeah, it's crazy. When you think about, you know, you made a good point, bro. I think the level, ain't no amateurs over here. At a certain point, everyone's good. And that's something I didn't learn until I got older.
Mhm.
It's like, man. And when we say everyone, obviously we're talking about who actually is good. But once you
right.
But
I
once
just
you
feel like
Yeah,
it's
it's a
somebody
few.
not being
but
mentioned.
once you're good, you start surrounding yourself by more people who are at least as good as you. That's the
Yep.
bottom.
Bingo.
You really want them to be better than you,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you can glean.
Yep.
And so now it's like, man, everyone's good. So why do certain people still keep getting called over and over and over and over? Different circles,
Mhm.
different relationships, different sets of people. And it's like, man, when you got, hey, shout out to Albert Parker.
Parker.
Yeah.
That
Top
is,
5.
yeah, I mean, one of the
OG.
best people in the world, right? Al
Literally.
keeps getting
People
called.
though.
People.
People.
Just
Off of the
People,
base.
before he plays the bass, one of the best people in the world. Like, it's not easy. I thought it was easy.
cool cat, man.
I thought it was easy because don't let you even have like a slight disagreement with someone, and then depending on what kind of person that is, they turn that into, oh man, he trash. Like,
Mhm.
start flipping your name upside down and crazy stuff like that. Like, this really is a different arena that we work in, but man, yeah, you being able to sit down with someone and not be annoyed after an hour
Hey, right.
determines so much. Especially, we're all responsible for teams. You're not the only person I'm responsible for. If I bring you on and now the other 6 people you're throwing them off, they don't want to be here anymore. The morale has changed.
Now the music is corny. Or
Man,
whatever we're doing.
We got a joke. We'd be like, hey, can't use you, Doc. Can't use you. I wanted to, but I can't use you.
Oh
It's over with.
man. Cause you're gonna throw the vibe off.
man.
And that's the worst, boy. I'm ready to go now.
Y'all be seeing them like them like I think Drewski had like a skit where he was talking about that dude that's in the studio that's always trying to rap,
Oh,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
not the artist. You
Yeah.
just like, man, I go crazy on this beat, bro. Hey, big brother, yeah, like man, and then you sitting there rapping,
Yeah.
and the artist is sitting there trying to figure out what he about to say, and you, yeah, bro, you all in his ear.
Mhm.
Shut up! You
Yeah.
not coming back to the studio no more because you doing too
Yeah, you gotta
much,
go
man.
home. I'll pay you
Yeah.
extra to never come back.
I'll pay you.
You know, I hope this is in line with what we're talking about, but it just makes me think of, you know, we're all musicians, but, you know, vocalists and instrumentalists separating us. I'd be really so jealous of the community that y'all have
Word.
because it's not like that on this side. Like, it's
Elaborate,
not.
Doc.
Please expound.
Why isn't
Yeah.
it like that? What do you
Just
think the
my
number one reason
interpretation.
is?
I'm sure it can go deeper than this, and from other people's perspective, it will. My how I
Say
have
what you need to say.
experienced
Yeah.
yes sir. How I have experienced vocalists is like singing is a hobby for
Mhm.
the majority.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like something I grew up doing, something I can do without thought, something a lot of people weren't trained to do. I just do it. It's almost like, you know, I can dance. It doesn't mean I should go pursue a dance career, but we encourage everybody to sing for some reason. Even if you have a good voice, I don't think everybody is supposed to professionally try to pursue singing. And the community is very, very different because I don't think everyone is trying to be a professional, but they want to run with professionals. So it's like I want the call for the gig, but I don't want to put in the work for the to get the call.
Yeah.
Um, it's like, you know, why you make that face? It's like
It's tough, man.
it's like I want the friendship and I want the community that's created around this thing that we do. But then again, like I hate shedding. You know what I'm saying? Or I hate practicing. Or like, you know,
I hate
coming into
meetings.
rehearsal, I don't know any
Yeah.
material. I didn't have time. What you mean you didn't have time? But you're gonna accept this money, ain't you?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna be mad if
Hey.
I take some money off of it, ain't you?
Bro.
You're gonna gladly accept this money. Couldn't make sound check, couldn't make, you know, and you know, we give grace to everybody. Like, I don't know any singer who's just like I don't personally know anybody who's just like, I'm full-time music. So we all work, you know,
Yeah.
we can't get to
Yeah.
everything like we want to. So I give grace, but what I'm saying is overall, there is a difference in the communities, and I just don't understand why. And it might be different out of the gospel field. I don't know because I'm not out of the gospel field. But as for church and for doing a lot of gospel music, it's like pulling teeth to get people to do something they swear they love and are called to do. I don't understand.
How do you think those faulty communities get established though? Because I want to know, how do so many people who want to do this for a living get established with so many people who could care less? Like how does that
Lack.
happen?
That's my vote.
Lack.
Because it's places where there is not a lack of highly skilled individuals. Places like LA, places like Atlanta, places like Nashville, places like used to be New York, I think, probably still New York. Well, Al Parker told us this himself. He said, man, if you late, it's somebody there waiting to take your job.
Yeah.
It's somebody there that's like, oh, he ain't here? All right, bet. I'm on.
I know the joints. I'm ready.
Yeah, I know the songs. Like,
Yeah.
please be 30 minutes late. Please be 30 minutes late. Give me an opportunity
Right.
to take your job. Because first of all, I'm here on time. And I might can low-key play better than you. Because going back to what we said,
Mike Ken, low key.
shout out to
Akron.
the OG.
Ebonics. Mike Ken. You ain't gonna hear that nowhere but this corner of the world. Mike Ken.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I knew
But
exactly
no,
what
real
you
talk
said,
though.
Doc.
Mike can outplay you.
Yeah.
Mike could.
So, cause
For
you,
sure.
cause
Shout out to the OG.
at the same
Hey.
time,
What's his name?
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead, dog.
Y'all some scary cats. Y'all scared.
Man, I ain't never
but
been.
no, what we said about like at a certain point, it's not really even about how well you can play. You might have got this gig just because you knew the guy, but now you done L and didn't show up on time,
Right.
and somebody is there to take it. But here,
Hey.
you're in Northeast Ohio.
And I feel like it'd be like,
Man.
so relationships in our world might be helping that person, but it's hurting us because it's not enough of, and I say this with all humility, like it's not enough of the like I can't think of too many vocalists that I can send them songs and then them coming to rehearsal just knowing everything.
Oh, why
Like,
don't you
I-
name all the ones that you do now?
Pick me.
Do you want me? Because we can go there. I will name them.
Why don't we name all the ones who you couldn't?
No.
Yeah,
But,
name the ones that
like,
could though. That'd be good.
You know, and I don't know. I don't even know the balance of like in church is so it's so culturally appreciated or respected to get in there and teach everything, but that don't always work for what we do in our profession is to sit and teach every, you know what I'm saying? I used to well I currently sing with Impact, which is Music and Performing Arts Chorale, which is Apostle Darren Thomas' group. And he sends out the music and everything. He sends out the parts. He sends out the lyrics. And his expectation is when you walk in for rehearsal, you know everything. And when we get here, we just work on blending and meshing.
That's
But-
what rehearsal is.
In church, you sitting down
Detail.
and you teaching
Mm-hmm.
the part to the song.
Yep. But see that's because the church and like this is no shade to the church, but the church has made vocalists and musicians lackadaisical. And the reason is because for years and years we do the same sets, they in the same keys. So at some point we don't even have to rehearse these no more. We just pull them from the archive. You know what I'm saying? And then too, when the pandemic hit, bro, wasn't nobody in church, everybody was on live. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody was doing the CCM stuff or shouting.
And that's why I'll be like, how do you level up on material if CCM is just catchable for the average
Exactly.
non-professional
Exactly.
person in church? Is catchable. I don't honestly, if you polled people, I don't think they would be like, man, I just love CCM. No, it's just doable.
Hey, man.
Exactly, because don't nobody got big choirs no more. Everybody got little four people praise teams that can sing
Or
a part
8 to
good.
10 person choirs.
Or and they can sing good enough. Or it's just like, oh, somebody's auntie, like she could sing cool, so now she's the worship leader
Which is
because they
crazy.
didn't have nobody else that could do it. So now that she's doing it, oh, I'll lead worship over here. I think I'm an artist now. I want to record.
And then people like, yo, record their projects and let them think they are artists. To take that money. Let's talk about it. Let's talk why y'all putting these artists out.
I would look here, not me.
I am not encouraging nobody, even a friend who I don't think is good.
If you're not good, I will tell you.
Let's talk about false encouragement, though.
Oh, before we go there,
Convention talk.
before we go, right? Yes, convention talk 101. Hey,
That should be the next subject. Go
that's a good point, bro.
Yeah.
The archives, church is literally turned into what y'all know. Okay, you know that bad.
Yes.
Oh, we bumped out a half step. All right, cool. Let's go. Like,
Yep.
that's what church is now. I mean, forget new music coming out. Y'all don't create. I remember people at my church used to write.
Yeah.
We would write, if the moment is good, we're writing right now. Look, we have songs that are, they're known to be coming out of a certain ministry, like, oh, I know that's them. Well, such and such wrote that. Or, they had a real good day and, that just happened on stage. That's crazy to me that we are literally just regurgitating everything, Everything is something you've heard before. And I hate saying that because I remember when I used to hate when other people said that. But a lot of it, that's
But
where
it
we
is.
are. But
Yeah.
Germ, to your point. So I have a follow up question. You were saying you don't know who you could send music to. You don't know many people you could send music to. They'd be ready to go tomorrow. That's the opportunity I have worked for. Is the
Musicians, yes.
can you like I think one of the best gigs I've had to this day, not so much monetarily but exposure wise, has been on a Thursday night. Can you do this on Saturday? And I said yes before I even got a list, before I knew what all it entailed, before I knew I had to drive 3 hours. I said yes. I already knew what it was about because of who called me,
Hmm.
how solid they were, and how they moved. Relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bet. I'm like, I'll be there. We didn't even discuss money, but I knew you solid on the money. I heard
Hmm.
if your name is good, word of mouth is the best exposure you can get. Even with social media, there's nothing that beats word of mouth. If someone has experienced how good of a person you
Hmm.
are,
Yep.
Facts.
nothing can top that. And so I said yes, understanding this is what I've been working for. This is why I practice. This is why I shed. This is why I've studied because I want to be able to go at the drop of a hat.
Hmm.
And my thing is, I don't think people even want those opportunities.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't want to have to be ready in 24 hours.
I remember before we started continuously singing at Innovation, um, we had got sent a song at like 10 p.m. Saturday night. Service at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Never had heard this song. He was like, "Can y'all do this song?" And me and Joseph was like, "Okay, we're up for the challenge."
Hmm.
Now, this is just for church. This ain't for no gig. We ain't, traveling nowhere. This is just for church. And we like, you know what? We can do this. Let's do this. Got there, sung the song with no problem. Joseph sung alto, I sung tenor. My thing is, we wanted it though.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And we wanted it so bad that we were willing to do it for something someone else, not us, would consider insignificant.
bruh.
And you have to be ready before it's time to be ready, or
Right.
you'll never be ready.
Hey,
Right.
not trying to
Right.
be churchy. Mountains look smaller when you want to conquer them.
Fact.
Ooh.
Like,
Soundbite.
Like
Right.
you'll look at something like I'll kill that. Even taking it back, like I said, I was an athlete before I was a musician. I don't care what y'all are ranked. I don't care what y'all have done up to this point. If we want to kill y'all and that's what we've decided, I don't think you're as good as people say now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
Now I see all of these chinks in your game. I've noticed all the flaws I needed to see, and I'm gonna exploit them because man, I want to take you
Mhm.
down. Like you know what I mean? It's about how
Facts.
bad you want it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Definitely.
You gotta be willing to never make no money from this
Yes.
and still do it.
Yep.
Yes.
Because if that's a scary, awful thought to you, this might
Yeah,
not.
this
It
ain't for
ain't
you.
for you.
This
It
not
ain't for you.
This ain't for you,
Turn
dog.
to your neighbor and say, "It ain't for you.
It
It
ain't
ain't
for
for
you.
you. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. It ain't for you.
Hey, because for real, our gifts aren't for us. Like, hey, bro,
All right, now you about to walk heavy.
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
story is crazy, and I've been there, so I
Mhm.
really, best song I ever wrote to me is I was sitting in a corner of a room with no lights on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I feel you, and it's like you didn't go through that just for you,
Hmm.
because you're one person, but how many people are gonna hear this song?
Right.
You
Right.
had to go through that so somebody else, even they may not have to go through it because of your song, or if they do, they can now have a guide. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's definitely we got to consider that. Like I might not make a dime, but lives might be changed, and I have to accept that. I got to be okay
Yes.
with that.
And that's when like, like it don't matter what's going on. This what I'm doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm homeless and I only got white bread with no ends on it. This
Now, white bread, all right, but go ahead.
But for real, man, like if you ain't willing to be at the bottom and still do it, pish tosh, don't even worry about it, bro.
Nah, for real though. That's
real.
a real. Okay, so we're nearing our time, but I'll really just to wrap it up, just as a cool thing.
Mhm.
When was that moment that you knew this is it? Whether I make $1 million or I make no money. This is it. I'm gonna start because I was actually with you when this moment happened. I don't know if you know this. I was a junior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You was already out of school. We did that VOT Voices of Testimony at Kent
Oh,
State
wow.
University. Yup. Jonathan Turner
Yeah.
was directing the choir.
Yep.
I don't even think we killed that concert. It wasn't super dope. I mean,
but we practiced though.
we did.
We was locked in.
That was my first time ever like, okay, I gotta be ready. Like I gotta practice. I've been playing in church, but I had never tried really hard. And we did it. And I remember we had just finished. I had my Yamaha S90, not no ES, not no, just S90 original with no polyphony. But anyway, packing that up, wrapping them cables up. And I remember it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I don't even know if y'all know, I wanted to be a civil engineer for a long time. I thought I was going to build bridges and sewage systems and all that. Like, that's what I was into as a little kid. That and like I liked math and
I almost
all that
smacked this
stuff.
fool when you told me that. I was like, what?
I wanted to be a civil engineer. I was gonna go to. I had it mapped out. I was gonna go to North Carolina A&T. I was gonna major in civil engineering, and then I was gonna play keys on the side. But that was gonna be my main job. And at that moment, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. This is what I gotta do. I don't care. And then like I think the next week, Clark Atlanta's choir had came to my school. And I sang, which because that's something I used to do.
Can you sing something for us real quick right now?
No. No, I can't sing no more. The voice is too fickle, and I don't like it. But at the time, I was doing that, and that changed my whole trajectory. That's when I was like, oh yeah, music is the thing. I majored in music, and the rest is history. But yeah, what's y'all's stories when you realized this was it?
I think I knew it was it for me. We was it's probably like 14 maybe. We was living at the Salvation Army at the time. And I was like, I think I want to play piano. So my mom got me this $100 little, it was a Yamaha PSR 175, bro. I remember like it was yesterday. And it had this like I would watch the little graph, like play the piano and stuff, and it had this little classical song. So I just started learning classical music. Like I just sit there and listen at it. And then when I learned, what was it, Ronda a la Turkish March, or whatever, learn that. And then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like, so I think at that moment, just like it was never like I want to make money from this. It was just like, I think this is what I want to do with my life. And then from there, just kept doing stuff until I figured out like exactly what it was supposed to be.
Wow.
But I think that was it for me.
Dang,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
What about y'all?
Jern?
I was originally gonna talk about when we did our first concert for KM back in 2015, and I was in the back and I heard my song being played, and I was like, "Oh, that's different. That's my music." But what I was reminded of while we were sitting here was back some years ago we were at pianos and stuff, and Tone, shout out to Tone Kirkland, met us there, and I remember we were just talking about different things, what we wanted to do, and I was giving all these excuses, and he basically looked at me and was like, "So you scared?" And he was just letting me know, like, if this is what you want to do, I mean, you got to talk like you want to do this. You got to talk like you can do this. And it shifted my entire perspective on where I was musically. And I honestly credit that moment changing my drive and passion for music.
Wow.
So for sure that.
Pianos and stuff.
Yep, pianos. It's a good story.
Where is that at?
Pittsburgh, or where's the
Yes, in
suburb?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, PA.
Oh, I need to come.
It's a super dope, huge mom and pop store. It's not a franchise. They got everything you need.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna go. See, I'm a Pittsburgh fan, so
Oh, okay. High end gear.
Yeah.
That's demo ready.
And a mom and pop?
Say
Well,
less.
it's independently owned. It's the only pianos and stuff in the country.
Wow.
That's crazy. I might put in. Yeah.
there
Put in my
and
GPS.
I need to go to there. I need to go there. I need to go to Woodsies, and I need to go to
The
Sweetwater.
fact that you live in Akron and you've never been to Woods,
You've
is
never-
Crazy.
never been
Sir,
there.
Sir.
I've ordered stuff
right
from
there.
there.
They've
I'll
been
drop.
here.
We can go right now.
literally.
Matter of fact, and it's
Y'all know Josh got a schedule. He
I'm
got
saying-
something.
I do. I got so much to do
He
today.
got so much to do. Josh ain't done
That-
today till one.
Dog,
one a.m.
I got a plan with him in a week in advance. Talking about next week. Dog, we
Josh,
driving to Woodsies.
Can I get on your schedule in July?
All right.
All right.
Oh my
Talk about. Let me see. I do got stuff going on.
Ooh.
Hey, but that's funny though, cause like he's like one of the only people that really lives by his calendar. Like, you know what I'm
Him and
saying,
my brother.
bro? Cause I'm like,
Yeah, it's not a
dude,
joke.
I don't, cause I be trying, bro. Like, I'm not good at planning, bro. Like, I'm just not good at it, and I be trying.
I don't write anything down.
I,
Really, y'all?
hey,
I just show up places.
hey,
So
I
just
have
show
to,
up,
I have to write stuff
You
down
lying.
now
I'm
though.
dead serious.
Yeah.
And no, I have to do it now because I got too much going on. You know, I'll be moving around and my kids is doing 30,000 things. I'm like, you know, and see sometimes like people, if you get me on the phone and you talk to me and like sometimes I'll say yes and not realize it because I be with my kids. Like, what I just say? You know, what I'm saying? Now I gotta go do something else. So now I'll be like, if I don't write it down, I
I
ain't coming.
definitely got to do better. But if you call out a random date between now and August, I can pretty much tell you what I'm doing that day.
Really?
Like, it's just, I've always been able to remember things like that. Like, you know, in July, I know when I'm going to be out of town. I know when Yeepaw Week is. In June, I know when the wedding is. I know when the gala is. Like, I don't have to write that down.
Oh yeah, because now I don't know things for the name. I know them for the date they're on.
Yep.
Yeah, I know
Yep.
them for the day.
Yep. That's how I always remember. I just know I got
Literally.
something to do.
Oh, it's
Like,
that day.
Like really good gigs, you recall the date. Like you refer to it as, man, I remember August 23rd, 2016.
yeah.
All right, somebody
That
just
was a
said,
good day.
can you do something June
guys
2nd? I
have
was
a
like,
different brain.
somebody was like, can you do something June 2nd? I was like, the house of the Lord, we having baptism for Bethel.
Yeah, like that's so funny.
Y'all. Okay,
For real.
Maybe this is why my calendar is the way it is. I cannot, and I cannot do that. I don't remember any date that anything happened.
You and Joseph should have a support group.
No, for real. Like we might be wired the same because,
are.
like,
That's hilarious.
my coach was telling me about a book called Second Brain. Apparently, it's a system of not keeping anything up here and you keep everything outside of you. So my calendar, I don't remember my calendar. I just know it's full or it's not full.
See, I don't
It's
like that.
all in my
A
phone.
physical
Yeah,
cloud.
I don't like that. I need to know. Like, see, my body knows that I got something going on. Like, so even if I don't write it down, I'm like, hey, I know I got something.
Yep,
I
because
know
I'll wake up late if I
Yeah,
don't feel like I got
you
something.
feel me? You feel me? I'm like,
I've just established in my brain like that every single day I have something that is that needs to be done unless I'm on vacation. That's the only time I'm gonna say like, and there's one day a week, which is now my Mondays/Sundays. I'm on purpose, not about to do much, but
it's still smart though that you do that.
I
Like, and I'm trying to catch up.
But I feel like that's just me though,
Keep putting
because I
everything
can't remember. I can't, like I'm not wired that way to keep everything up here, so I have to have it outside of me so I can just go look at it. But y'all are wired. If y'all are wired that way, I think that's amazing. I think that's like a genius level thing that people can remember. Like when people remember everybody's name, or they remember dates,
Oh,
or they
Doc.
remember like. I don't understand that. How are you that smart that you know stuff without having to write it down?
I'm
No.
a visual person. Like I'm very visual. So like I can like if I've only been somewhere once, I can get there again.
Woo, can't do that either.
Like I'm so landmarky, bro. Like it's crazy.
Are y'all good with directions? Like, can y'all just-
Give me 2 times going there, maybe 3. I should be good.
I actually really like, now what made me get good at directions is my phone died leaving a gig from Pittsburgh one time. And I'm on a turnpike. Oh, yeah.
Dog, I would have just went to a gas station.
And I did. But after that, I'm like, oh, no. If I go, like Jeremy said, if I go twice, I got to know how to get there after that.
My wife will tell y'all, man, I be using my GPS in Akron. I don't know how to
Well,
get anywhere.
I use it sometimes if I don't know if I'm on like a tight schedule.
Yeah, yep. If I'm on
Right.
tight schedule,
I
even
need
if
the
I'm on tight
ETA.
schedule, I'll just drive the way I know. And if it's, hey, sorry.
I don't ever use a GPS coming to Akron anymore though.
Take you all
Really?
I
the
can
all the
hit
side
everybody's
streets.
church off
For
of memory.
real, everyone.
That's amazing.
Like I'm
That's-
here 2 times a week every week, but I can hit everybody's church off of memory now.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
not a. That's it's probably a churchy thing. I can get to any church we've been gigging at,
Yeah.
or just if it's a homie's church out of the city. I mean, I'm talking Cleveland, Akron, Pittsburgh, Youngstown, now
Yeah.
Lorraine. Yes,
But there's only so many churches that you're gonna hit at in those spots too.
Mhm.
right.
But like,
Keith basically just said, "Shout out to the churches that matter."
Let's talk about churches that don't
Hey.
matter.
Oh!
Let's talk about impactless churches.
I'm saying, dog, because in Barberton right now, bro, where I used to live at, it's 5 churches on the same street, and they all got 3 members, and they cousins.
This is another subject for another time.
I
Are
don't-
you having impact just because you decide to become a church? Does that make you impactful?
I'm about to write this down.
Who
Second brain.
Who
Second
told
brain, 'cause
you
I'm
to
not gonna
have a
remember this.
church?
Yeah.
Who said just because the pastor was going this week, he needed you to fill in? Oh, now the Lord and told you to go be a
Right.
pastor.
And sometimes if the pastor gone, we need to shut down church this
Yeah.
week. We need to send everybody somewhere else.
Hey,
And then we scared because then they might like it.
let's
don't wanna
talk
talk
about
about
it.
that.
This
Let's
next
talk
week,
about it.
I just wrote down, should y'all be having church? Because you said this one time. You was like, hey, let's just take a step back. Do we need to be having church?
Right. Some of
Because
us
if
don't need
it's
to be
2
having
people
church.
here, we probably need to.
There's
Yeah.
a level of control that they have
Yes.
to keep, though. That's why we can't go nowhere else.
Go to a different church.
They scared that we
But
don't
see,
like it.
but that's why, and see, that's why the pastors ain't
I'ma
got
get in trouble
relationships
now.
with their musicians.
That is why they don't got relationships.
Because musicians, as long as we come play a service and we good, y'all don't care about none of that. We
Woo!
in and out.
Oh,
We
man.
ain't
We
no
got
MDs
to
no
talk
more in
about
most of
this,
these
bro.
churches.
You're right. There isn't
It's
an
fill-ins.
That's real.
It's fill-ins. Like,
Yeah, just because I'm making the calls, I'm not an administrator here. I'm not on your staff. And let's be honest, this ain't even the number I agreed to.
yeah, this is what y'all had, Doc.
Yeah, this
You
is
hear
what
me?
y'all
Chopped it
had.
off. man.
This
You know what
Y'all.
I'm saying?
We gotta stop. Tank, when was the moment that you noticed that you wanted to do this? Because this is getting too good.
It was kind of wild. I grew up around music, grew up around good music, like good musicians, but I wasn't playing. I was sitting in church every Sunday in the pew next to my mom, dressed to the nine, like I was getting
Yeah.
fresh for church,
That's crazy.
not doing a thing. I'm talking until graduation. Man, I get to college, full ride scholarship at a D2 school, playing football.
You saying D2 like that ain't good.
Bro, what?
Because of what I aspire, and like I got a lot of fam that play D1.
I got you.
They're like,
I got
you know,
I got you. Yeah,
take
yeah,
D2.
yeah.
But like, you know, I'm at school and it's fully paid for. They don't offer anything music related.
Dang.
Not
Mm.
anything, not even a free class to just pull up to. It is eating me alive and I don't even realize it. And then we get the spring ball. I'm red shirted, fully paid for, but I'm not playing yet. You know, I'm young. I'm not even 18 yet. I'm lifting, I'm getting better, stronger, faster. But I'm like, this ain't it. And I love football to this day, but it's not my thing. But I didn't know that at the time. Man, one day I woke up during spring ball, went to my coach's office, told him I was transferring to Youngstown State back home so I could major in music.
Wow.
And I left $68,000 a year on the table.
Ooh.
Paid for schooling to then take loans out to go to YSU. And now this is just me. I ain't even finished at YSU. Because then when I got hip to what music, like how this world really works, and I was like, man, I'm working. I'm getting better. I felt like I was good at the time. And I was building relationships. So I didn't even finish school. But making that step of faith of like, imagine calling your mom like, you know, I ran, lifted a lot to get this scholarship, and you're not paying for school right now. I'm about to leave.
Mhm. Hey,
Faith move.
but you left debt free though. you
Did leave
you left
debt-free.
debt free, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But that was a turning point for me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot how
That's big faith.
amazing that story is, bro. You've told me that before, but I think just hearing it just now was like, yo.
I don't think I've ever heard that story.
Me
Yeah,
either.
I never shed it until I tell people all the time on like cause I go through stuff of like feeling like I'm behind.
Mhm.
Cause like how long when was the first time you ever played like at church or something? Like
17.
like on a consistent basis, like you playing, you know?
12.
14.
Yeah, I was like 17, 16
Yeah,
maybe.
14. I started at St. Paul. I was 14, 15.
Yeah.
I was a youth
I was-
musician.
Yeah.
Man.
Because I ain't start playing until I was like 15.
See,
Like,
I always liked drums. Had a drum set in my basement.
mhm.
But you know, by 15, my freshman year of high school, I'm dug in football, basketball. My first shed, I was probably like 20 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like my first shed, like I don't even know what shed was. What y'all talking about? Like shed. I didn't know the lingo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember not knowing what that meant too.
I ain't started playing in my church till I was like 19. It was like 2014. No, I'd have been 20. 2014, 2013.
Cause but I mean, and we haven't played on this video, but for y'all that don't know, Tank is one of the top drummers in the area.
Yes, sir.
So the fact that
I
you
ain't even heard
started, like the fact that you started at 20 and not as a little kid is astounding. I know you're not gonna say that about yourself, but I will.
Because
I'm not
I
gonna lie, I
appreciate
think
that.
everybody be
But I'll be
lying
like,
about
man,
kid stories.
I'll be like, how far could I have been? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It plagues
Yeah.
me like super
Yeah,
bad.
But I mean, but like I used to think about that too. Like, man, I feel like I should be further along as a piano player or whatever. But then I'll be like, but in each setting that I'm in, my experience has got me through anything. You know what I'm saying? So then I'll be like, so what is it that I really want? Do I just want to be better at a certain style of playing?
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Because then that's what, because I'm like, okay, I want to be really good at stride piano. Like, so like, but nothing that I ever do calls for that. So I don't practice it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man.
I don't know. But yeah.
Wow. Man, that's amazing, bro.
I appreciate it. All glory to
Seriously.
God.
All glory to that.
What's up, y'all? I just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Minority Behavioral Health Group, or MBHG for short. MBHG is a mental health agency that helps tons of people throughout this community. We just want to thank them for being our sponsor. If you want any more information about how you can get in contact with MBHG, the information is in the description below.